Welcome to another episode of Golf is Hard TV, the golf show for the rest of us. Today, we've got the rules for the rest of us. All right, so we've got a copy of the official USGA Rules of Golf. Dave's showing it to you.
It's like the wine library.
That's the wine library. That's exactly right. And we're not going to talk too much about rules. A little bit, but first of all, you can get your own copy of the rules. Just join the USGA. They'll send you a hat and the rules of golf, and you can kind of thumb through these. Oh, and the rules of amateur status too. So
that's a nice little pocket size made to keep in the golf bag. So
you whip it out on your buddies.
Yeah, exactly.
And, show them Rule 24 obstructions in case they're messing with it. Let me ask you sort of a high level question. When as sort of a average golfer, when do I think about the rules? I mean, do I think about them every round I play? Just when I'm playing in a tournament? I mean, when do they apply, I guess?
That's a great question because I think most people really don't play by the rules or know much about the rules. And the thing is, it's good to know the rules because a lot of times they can benefit you as to where you can drop your ball sometimes, how many, is it 2 strokes or 1 stroke? And a lot of times the reason to know the basic rules are to use them to your advantage. And you want to play fair. I mean, there are no referees out on the golf course. Yeah. That's the great thing about the integrity of the game, things that we teach kids. It's up to you. If your ball moves or if you're moving a branch and your ball rolls, I mean, that's a penalty.
Yeah.
And it's up to you to call yourself on that. Unless someone sees you, and it's up to them.
It's up to them.
And you see it. Now, the thing is, there's an obligation. Well, to answer your question, the rules, probably you want to start to play more by the rules when you get better, and certainly when you're in competition, you have to know the rules, at least the basic ones. But, out there on the tour, for instance, there's if a player sees another player, if he sees a rules infraction, the other player is obligated to report that because it's against the whole field. It's not just against the three of them in that threesome. So.
Yeah. So when you're playing tournaments, obviously you need to know at least the basic rules. This happened to me last year. I was on a hill,
right?
And I went and I definitely addressed the ball, grounded the club, and all of a sudden the sucker started rolling downhill. I was like, I don't really know what the rule is. What was the rule there?
That rule, because you addressed it, now you actually caused that to move. Now, maybe you didn't, but you probably did. According to the rules, you did. So you have to replace the ball. Put
it back. Now, the lesson learned is don't address the ball.
And you get a 1-stroke penalty.
Right? If the ball's on shaky ground.
Exactly. They talk about it a lot, especially when it's windy and on the putting green, too.
Yeah.
I remember watching one tournament last year on TV, and the thing is, the wind, especially the greens, are very fast and very sloped. And once that player addresses the ball, touches the ground behind it, then they've addressed the ball, and if it moves now, then they get the penalty. That's why they recommend don't sole the club.
Yeah.
Same out in the fairway or whatever if you're on kind of, like you said, a hill or something.
Yeah. So, there's something missing from here, I think. I mean, maybe it's just me. It probably is. But I'm looking in the index here, and I'm looking under M, and I don't see Mulligans. And I'm curious why is Mulligans not in the rules of golf?
I'll bet the average golfer, most people think that Mulligans are part of the game. Mulligans do not exist according to the rules of golf.
So
you know what it's called in the rules?
What?
Provisional.
Provisional.
So if you hit a ball, and let's say you have out of bounds down the right side, which, by the way, we'll talk about the red stakes, the yellow stakes, and white stakes quickly. If you hit a ball and you think it's lost, then you say, okay, provisional, so you can hit another one. Now, it's not a mulligan.
Right.
The thing is, you do it to save time. So you hit a provisional. If you find the first one and it's not out of bounds, let's say it's just in the woods, but there aren't white stakes, you have to play the first one, then you would pick up the second.
So if you're playing with your buddies, it's not competitive. What typically, how many mulligans can you take?
It's up to you four. You can,
as many as you want, really.
Basically, mulligans don't exist, like I said. If you really want to get better, you eliminate that thought from your mind. Now,
just don't hit bad shots. You don't need mulligans.
Sometimes, and we used to do this. We did. I mean, even scratch golfers do this. You get out there. There's no range. You're going right to the first tee. You're like, all right, hit 2. Take your best off the first hole.
Oh,
that's it. So you can hit 2. That's if you don't have force them behind you waiting to play if it's not crowded. That's fair to do. You can do that.
Let's quickly talk. You mentioned no mulligans. Let's talk about the stakes real quick because I see stakes all the time. Red I know is bad. I try to avoid those.
Not always bad. Red can save you, actually.
It can save you. That's true. That's true. So you got red, yellow, right?
Right.
And white, I think.
Right.
Okay, so what are red?
All right, so define a hazard. Hazard is a bunker or water hazard, marked by yellow or red. Those are the hazards.
Okay. If you hit the ball into a hazard...
Yeah, there are certain rules that apply. So there's a hazard, which are all of those. Now, more specifically, a water hazard, which are marked by red and yellow. And more specifically, a lateral water hazard marked by red.
Yeah, that's already too confusing.
So they're all under... They're all... it's pretty simple, actually. And there are some different rules that apply to red versus yellow because certain things you can't do if you hit it to a red staked area versus a yellow stake. And one is... you cannot drop behind a lateral water hazard. That's why it's called laterally.
Okay.
So you're on the fairway or you're on the tee and there's water all the way down the right side. Usually there'll be red stakes a couple feet in. That's a lateral water hazard. You couldn't possibly drop it behind that hazard in line with the hole because it
be in the water.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So there are certain rules there. A typical water hazard marked by yellow stakes could be a creek running perpendicular to the fairway, or it could be a lake in front of the green, and it'll be marked by yellow. So as you approach that hazard, marked by yellow.
You hit it in the water there. You can drop it behind.
You can drop it behind. You can go back as far. You can always re-tee it. So if you hit it in out of bounds or in a red hazard or a yellow hazard, you can always opt to re-hit the shot. Oh, that could be your mulligan.
Yeah, mulligan. Boom.
Mulligan. You could call it a mulligan.
Still got to count that first shot though.
Absolutely, it's a one-stroke penalty. So the difference between red and yellow basically is and it uses to your advantage. If you hit it in a water hazard marked by yellow, you keep the point between where it went in and the flag, and you can come back as far as you want.
Get a good as line as you want.
Exactly. You can come back to your perfect, favorite yards, 120. Hit it in the red. Basically, you drop it within. I'm pretty sure it's nearest point of where it went in, and it's 2 club lengths.
2 club lengths.
So
I probably could find this in here.
2 club lengths from the point where it went in between the red stakes. It is 2.
It's definitely 2, huh? Because I've got, I don't know, about 147 pages to sort through.
Oh, there's a lot in there. It's not just 36 rules. There's 36 A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Let's wrap this up with a random rule. I'm just going to open this and see what we get.
Oh, by the way, white stakes are out of bounds.
All right.
2-stroke penalty.
Oh, this is a good one. Rule 3-4. Refusal to comply with a rule.
You get kicked off the golf course.
If a competitor refuses to comply with a rule, and you'd have to know what the rules are, of course, affecting the rights of another competitor.
Interesting. I'd have to say disqualification. Yeah.
You got it.
I mean,
very good. Good.
Well, one more.
Okay, here we go. Random rule 27, playing from the wrong place. Now, there's a bunch of provisions here.
That's a question you just asked. What if your ball rolled down the hill and you played from there? It's playing from the wrong place.
Yeah. Well, so in general, there's a general rule, there's a match play rule, and a stroke play rule, and then there's a bunch of other notes.
Right. Because technically, you're never playing from the wrong place because it's your ball. You hit it there. You're playing from the right place unless it moves. That's the wrong place.
Yeah.
That's where.
I'll just talk about C 27C stroke play. If a competitor makes a stroke from the wrong place, he incurs a penalty of 2 strokes under the rule.
Oh, okay.
And of course, if he disagrees with that rule,
maybe I say one. Yeah,
he's gone. All right, that's the rule show. If you have if you have questions for us on rules, we have the book, so you can ask us and we can look it up for you.
Yep.
And it's another great episode. Hopefully, great. I don't know. I keep saying this is a great episode.
I think it's a great episode. There's so much to talk about. We just hopefully helped you save a few shots and drop your ball in a little better position and win that match.
Rules of Golf. Golf is Hard TV. See you next time.